What's your customer think of collaboration? What do you think? What do you think? Do you think this is top of mind to customers? Why? Why? Why is it top of mind? It's about the business. How am I going to be effective? With better collaboration, I have better communications between my engineering team and my sales team. I have a better information between my product development team and my sales team for what product really is going to differentiate me in the market. It's going to help me communicate with my customers better, a higher level. It's going to differentiate me in some way, shape, or form. If you could walk into a bank, and we were talking about this, if you could walk into a bank and all of a sudden you walk up, and before you even walk up, they've got a, "Hello, Mr. Martin, how are you doing?" And That's kind of nice. They already know I'm a special customer. They know what's about me. It's all about the business.
This is like one of the cooler things, even though I'm not anywhere remotely close to it. But although it's cool, it's sort of a harder thing to sell, in my opinion, because like, how do you translate some of this into ROI? Or, I mean, are there, like, could you give examples of ROI?
Cost of operation.
Product development time.
Yeah.
How about product development time? How about if let's Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble, 60% of P&G's R&D and innovation actually comes from outside vendors. 60%. Well, guess what? If I can elevate the level of collaboration between the people on the outside and elevate it with the people on the inside, you think maybe I could drive that to 70? If that's what you want to do? Maybe I can make that faster to market?
Well, look at most major companies have offshore development in,
Yeah.
visual.
Yeah.
Well, those are, I get that. I mean, obviously that's why I asked the question, but I guess I was asking for people who've sold it, Cisco, in the history of it. Like, do you have actual, like, here's a case example of, we say X over the last
there's ROI studies out there on our collaboration page about customers who've done this and done this and done that. We've got a ton of those. But you know what? From my experience, most customers look at that and say, "Huh, that ain't my business."
Well, I guess like even in the contact center, if you can show ways to increase revenue where you're managing like calls better, if you can increase agents' time or increase the amount of times an agent takes a call, and then like I know they're getting into multimedia, right? So if you can have one agent, take a call and then maybe do chat, right, to take more orders, you're increasing revenue. So
first of all, contact center is the only place where productivity is a hard ROI because you measure everything there. I absolutely agree with that. That's the only place. Travel costs, but I hate leading with that. I hate leading with that because if I tell somebody they're not going to travel, I might be going against everything they want to do. I want to talk about, if you want to not travel, that's fine. But if you're traveling let's say you're traveling once every quarter to your critical businesses, let's say you're offshore, and I go once a quarter to all of those places and talk to people. And I go in and I say, guess what? I want to use telepresence for that. Realistically, is telepresence really as good as you going over there, shaking hands, going out to dinner, talking, and building that relationship? Maybe not. But if I say I'd like to help you in between those meetings, elevate the level of collaboration between the two, today you might just be emailing and chatting and calling. If I put telepresence in there now. Now, if it's up to you, you say, you know what, I just don't want to go this month, let's just use telepresence. That's your choice.
Well, there's more classic ones like when you're using collaboration or telepresence to SME or specialists that are centralised and using a specialist at a branch or at a location. The customer experience difference is the return on investment, right? So companies like Telco is measured by Net Promoter Score, and if your Net Promoter Score has moved from 6 to 8, there's serious KPIs that the executives have on those KPIs, and so they may not necessarily relate it to a return on investment, but what they really relate it to is a return on that KPI. And that KPI is what I'm measured on, therefore I buy it.
All right, so the key performance indicators. So let me say to your answer to your question. Are there ROIs? Yes. Would it be better for us to give them the ROIs or for them to tell us how they rate themselves? So what does that mean? We have to actually get involved in seeing how their process works today, understand it, match it up against some technologies where we maybe be able to fix that, make it better, and then if we present it to them, then they can even tell us how they're going to measure it and how they're going to save. It's really, that's how you have to do it. It used to be so much easier. How many phone moves did you have? Oh, I had 2,000 phone moves that year. At $100 a phone move, I'll save you that. ROI. It's not that anymore. It's not that anymore.
There are case studies, there are customer case studies available.
Yeah.
So you can see all
Yeah.
their definitions
Yeah.
of how they...
And it's all about their KPIs. Every customer is different. Every customer I've dealt with is different.
A couple of advantages with respect to integrating everything with the UC that's already in place for a lot of customers.
Mhm.
You get a lot of the collaboration features embedded into UC version 9.
Right.
You can have an EX90 or 60 become an endpoint, which is
Right.
just a phone.
Right.
Can do telepresence.
They can do everything, and all of a sudden it's in front of them, and it's right there, and they're using it.
Change the experience as well.
You know, a lot of our customers they've let their mind and IT keep their imagination in check. IT, imagine do you think IT is going out there and saying, hey, what do you do in your business? Maybe I can put a video on my network and help you? No way. They wake up every morning and say, please don't let them do video, please. Yeah, they're not out there. We have to do that. We have to get to the business people. It's about the business needs. And that's all I'm going to write up here. Collaboration is about the business needs. Who needs to talk to whom? Is it the people on the edge, the people on the sales who are the only people who know how to aggressively or properly go after a competitor? How do I get that knowledge out of that person? I got to make them available to everybody. Maybe that's WebEx Social. Things like that. Cisco collaboration. An innovator here. Innovation from the very start of what we call IP telephony. Actually an innovator all the way back to voice over and even through that. Our collaboration architecture actually started in 1997 when John Chambers said voice and data networks were going. No, we didn't call it collaboration. We called it IP telephony. But it's evolved to collaboration. And we've continued to take, and guess what? The architectures matter. Guess what? In my patch, I had a 6-month window that was one of the nicest. Again, I had customers calling me, telling me they wanted to do IP telephony. Wouldn't that be nice if your customers called you to do that? I had all the Avaya customers calling me up saying, hey, listen, I need these power over Ethernet switches and all this. We're going to do IP telephony, and Avaya told me that Cisco's infrastructure was the best thing to do it on. Wouldn't you like to have those calls? Because, man, now they've already got a customer with interest in all this. All I have to do is go in there and differentiate myself. And they've already set the stage. They said the infrastructure works really well. Their stuff works really well on our infrastructure. Wouldn't you just like to have all Cisco? All things being equal? Yes. It proved that the architectures matter. Not only the collaboration architecture that we have that drives out, but the other architectures, the underpinning architectures make a difference. QoS matters. It really does. And guess what? This stuff's going to get more and more and more complicated. So do you want to have vendor A doing this, vendor B doing this, vendor C doing this, vendor D doing this, and vendor E doing this? Or would you rather have somebody who can bring it all together in one? I'm telling you, the risk goes up. Every time you add a different, it's like that logarithmic function. You add another separate vendor, your risk goes up an X amount. You add another one, it goes X plus something, or X times something. We have products across all these lines. Man, we have got the slew of everything you can do. So there's not a place in a business you can't start intersecting their business with our solutions in some way, shape, or form to give a change. A lot of these do require services and support from them. And again, Cisco's got a long history of supporting their customer. And again, with some of these things, you're going to have services to do. Customers just can't do it themselves. Just can't do it themselves. And Cisco Capital.
To add on to that, when you say service support, to me that sounds like just servicing everything. You said advisory services is a key part of that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Advisements, that's the services part to me. The service is either pre-sale or post-sale. You know, traditionally, telephony, unless it was contact center or something, probably not a lot of pre-sales, more post-sales, day 1, day 2, day 3, whatever. Now, I think it's more upfront, figuring out what you want to do. Advisory services, absolutely.
Because I would think that's something we'd want to be pretty special at, like the design and the strategy around what you're going to do with collaboration.
Yeah.
That's where the money is.
Oh, it is. And guess what? If you're designing it, don't you think you're going to be able to? Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to design it for somebody else. All right.